Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the hump, the middle of the week. Welcome out, everybody, to the Tradespoon live trading room, stocks and options closing bell. It's good to see everybody. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Mark, good to see you. Bob, good to see you. It's light. It's been a good little bit of market activity for the past couple months. I would have expected we have more coming to this. I feel like we've had a pretty good read on the market, trading the right areas, doing the right things. Do the right thing. Yeah. So anyway, I hope everyone's trading well. But formally, welcome out to the Tradespoon live trading room. I'm Scott, head trading coach. These are my stats. These are the disclosures. What else? That's it. Let's just dive right in, shall we? Yeah, it's great to have another. We had the inflationary data. Market's moving. Yeah, not a lot of follow through, at least as of now, but we definitely had a gap, which was helpful. And if you had any bullish trades on, which I would expect that you do, should be going pretty well for you. Let's take a look. So you can kind of see bullish day today. Cooling inflation has economists debating the Fed's path. I'm still leaning a little bit more towards yes than no. I don't know what the futures have priced in. If anyone wants to go take a look at that and let me know. Not quite sure. But for me, still a little bit more yes, but I'll tell you what, the data's strong, the inflation's down quite well. Egg prices continue to plunge while food inflation stays sticky. I've noticed that. Eggs got cheap again. Everything else stayed expensive. I told my wife, I said, the inflation's down. She's like, no, it's not. Look at the grocery store. It's not. I'm like, yeah, right? S&P is up 0.81, Dow 0.32, NASDAQ 1.25, Russell almost 1.5. Oil's up again, almost 1.5. There's been a bit of a spike in oil prices. Was there another? I know that OPEC cut it a little while back. Was there another production cut recently? Any oil traders here that pay close attention to that information? I'm curious about that. But the big news obviously was from the economic report. CPI was expected to go to 0.3. We're at 0.2. Core CPI was supposed to go from 0.4 to 0.3. It went to 0.2. Year over year was supposed to drop from 4 to 3.1. It dropped all the way to 3. Core CPI year over year was supposed to drop 5.3 to 5%. It dropped to 4.8. So across the board, we beat expectations. I mean, that would be, for me, that was the only possible way. Remember that we're less than 2 weeks. 2 weeks from 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, the Fed meet again, right? The 25th and 26th, the Fed meet, and the expectation was 0.25% hike, but with the inflation numbers moving, especially as we come into corporate earnings, right? That's where the rubber meets the road. The Fed does not want to derail growth, and growth, as we're about to see starting at the end of this week, early next, Alcoa, some of the financial companies going to be reporting earnings. We're going to see from a corporate standpoint, what does it look like? Are profits meeting or exceeding expectations at a similar rate to what we're used to? Are we seeing guidance lowered, maintained, raised. I do think that could have an influence on what the Fed decide, because they certainly don't. If inflation's coming down and it hasn't disrupted the labor market, I don't think they're in a rush to push it down faster than it has come down. It's coming down at a steady rate, and it's hard to. You don't want to overcorrect again, right? So they're very leery of that. It's quiet out there today. Someone say hello so I know you guys can still hear me. What else is happening today? That's really it. It's inflationary data. Tomorrow we have PPI, right? PPI comes out tomorrow. Jobless claims, but again, that's come back excellent. It's been excellent. Randall says at least one more time. I don't disagree. I even still think it may be two, Randall. But remember that we've got 4 meetings. We're only halfway through the year for Fed meetings. So we've got 4 more meetings. Do they decide let's pause, then cut, then pause, and then they decide one more at the end of the year? Or do they cut, pause, and then let it ride? I mean, yeah, I think it could go a number of different ways. I agree with you. I think at least one more is almost certain. If they pause this, I think I'm still leaning to raising this next time and then just being done. Or they pause one more time, get a little bit more data, and then decide let's go ahead on the next one. But I would say it's definitely going to be, I agree with you, that at least one more, and it'll be one of the next 2. We'll see what happens. Yeah, definitely. Okay, but tomorrow we have PPI. That's another one of their favorites. Yeah. Good call. Randall said raise in July, then data dependent, as it should be. Data-driven decisions. It's the only way to go. Only way to go. Okay, let's look at the toolbox. So Stella got bullish for a minute. Now she's a little more tepid. Right? A little bit more tepid, as it were. So, and hello to you, Carmen. Good to see you. Glad you can make it. Glad you're saying hello. So a little sideways, but again, no selling pressure. I'll tell you what, if I'm bullish and I see this say sideways, that's good enough. I should still be able to find, even if it does, I'm still leaning towards bullish. I'm still bullish. I think after this week, I'll probably be slightly increased bullish. But either way, I'm still bullish. This doesn't cause any concern. One of the things I'm looking for is, does the model pick up on something that I haven't? Now, I will tell you this. The VIX is still in a potential second hedge. So I've already got one. I got a hedge signal. I took it. It worked the first day. I took some profit. I held the rest. And it's come back against me. Look, full disclosure, that's how hedges work sometimes, right? If you took that hedge and you're still in it, yeah, you gave it all back. But is it still necessary? Do I look at the hedge and think, ooh, I might still need that? And the answer is yes. As bullish as I am, the VIX is. So right now, I don't see potential for disruption from the model. Sometimes the model will show it, and maybe it does on the NASDAQ or one of the other markets, but not on the SPY. But the other thing that I'm going to be looking for is, do I have a disruption from the VIX? Right? Do I have disruption from the VIX? And that's one that I think is going to be important. Okay, so let's look at the other markets. Good afternoon, Fred. Hello, LK. Good to see you both. Glad you can make it. Had a couple of you making before we got into the good stuff yet. So there you go. Here it is. There it is. So there is a potential for disruption out of the NASDAQ. Now, the NASDAQ is where a lot of the strength has been. We've caught multiple bounces from the technology sector over the last couple of months. Is it overextended? Is it in need of a consolidation, 5%, maybe even a correction? I'm not there yet, personally. I still think it looks strong, but this certainly has me saying, hey, I've got a potential hedge signal showing up on the VIX. The model's a bit bearish here. Let's not get confident. Let's not get irrationally exuberant, right? And pay particular attention to some of these signals that we're seeing. Russell 2000 still looks overall more bullish than not. So I do like that. Remember that one of the things I was waiting for in my bullish, neutral, bearish assessment was small cap participation. Are the small caps participating? The answer is yes, they are. You can see them. They've gotten better. They're still holding up. Okay. What about the Dow? What about the blue chips? We would expect a little bit less there. And we are seeing a little bit less there. So for me personally, it's a little bit more neutral than I am. I'm a little bit more bullish than this. I can live with that. The model's picking up on something. Okay. We did have same highs in several different places. Right? We did have same highs in a number of different places. But yeah, that's okay. That is okay because overall it still looks good to go. All right. All right. Let's look at the long term. Now, here's the thing. We tend to see a little bit of a consolidation, which we did, right? Little consolidation. This has been moving pretty much like clockwork. When this pulls back, this pulled back. When this rallies, on average, this rallied, this pulls back. This is pretty good correlation right now. What would be next? Whoops. Sorry. What would be next? In the second half or second, maybe even 2/3 of July, we tend to see, boom, a pop. And then it kind of meanders, even drops a little towards the fall, beginning of fall, late summer, and here in September. Yeah, I could see that happening. Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense, especially with what we've already seen. But are we going to get one more bounce? For me, I'm still looking for that. Yes. Yes. That's my thought. Okay. What else? Here's today's heat map. Oh, NVIDIA looking strong again. Microsoft, Apple, right? These are some of our favorites. AMD, CRM was on our list. Tesla, Amazon, Meta. Costco wasn't. Utilities, you can see, are a little bit strong today. Don't love that. But overall, pretty bullish day. Where's the weakness? Healthcare. A little bit in industrials. Which is interesting because it had really started to show some strength in industrials, and we're not necessarily seeing that now. Let's get a quiz. Where is my charts? Hold on. Why can't I get these to detach? Okay, they always come a little bit. No, I didn't want that. Let me get implied volatility back. Okay, so it's quiet out there. We're a little light. It's quiet. How are you trading? Profitable? Making some money? Any mistakes? Are you finding where the money is? Bob says making money. Good, good. Glad to hear it. Love to see it. Any mistakes? What mistakes right now would you say? It's a for me, one of the core mistakes that I think traders make is over trading. And when people are like, well, how do I know if I'm over trading? Too much hedge. Oh, okay. Okay. Did you take any profit on the hedge? So because I am as bullish as I am, I did take a little profit early. Like, no, I didn't wait for 5%. I had some, I took some. Wasn't a ton. I mean, I'm carrying more than I took. So I get it today. I get it. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Let's see what the watch list looks like. Oh, no, sorry. I needed to dive into today, and then let's get a quiz. Doing well. Closing quicker to avoid too many open positions. Ah, okay. Okay. Hedge still on. Honestly, me too, Bob. And I still want it. And we'll look at that in just a second. So how many times? There's been plenty of times where it sneaks and you're like, oh, I don't need the hedge after all. And you take it off and then bam, just all comes out of nowhere. And you're like, what the hell? Where did that come from? So I'm not loving what the paper loss looks like, but I'm like, yeah, I not only do I still want this, but I would add. Now, here's the thing for me. On the last hedge, because they were so cheap, I went a little bit further out in time. So I would actually buy the same contracts. Right now, 5 weeks is still August, third week of August. And 5% out of time is still the 420s. So I would still get the August 420s. Rode the lose on the homeowner insurance too. That's true, right? If it's offset, I agree. You gotta have that perspective. But we do definitely. I mean, look, we all want to, right? We all have that objective. I want to make money on my hedges, right? Is it a Pyrrhic victory if we lose on our hedges but make on our portfolio? Yes. Do I still want to make money on my hedges? Well, hell yes. All right, let's get this quiz. It's a good conversation today. I like the conversation today. All right, I'm going to go across the highs here. A, you've got to get back up, basically at or above 447 or very close to it. B's, I'm going to give you these lows here. Bam, bam. B and C. So, what are the numbers? 445.66, 446.76. You got about $1.10. That's what we're looking for. Fred is an A with an exclamation point. He's confident. He's confident about his A. I'm going to jump right in and go B. I think we're going to grind it out. I think that the sellers are going to make a run here. They're going to lose some steam. It's going to pop back up. We're going to finish right around 446. I'm a B. Where's my answers at? I need answers. It's not a quiz if we don't have at least, 6 or 7 people. We got to get it. B, even coach can get lucky. Bob says. Okay, fair enough. Bob is a B. LK is a B. Jacques is a C. Randall is a B. Jacques a little more bear. He says the Bears are going to take control. They're going to get it north of the lows. Okay. Got it. As long as it doesn't break 445 at this point. If it starts to break 445, not today, but especially tomorrow. If it breaks 445 tomorrow, I believe that's the VIX giving us a higher low, and I'm probably going to hedge that and look to close some remaining bullish trades, to be perfectly honest with you. And Carmen is a B. Okay. Martin is it Martine? Am I saying that correctly? is a C. I hope I am. Yeah, it's selling off a little bit right there, isn't it? Got it. All right. Well, let's go look at the VIX. Ah, look at that. It's already coming back. Already coming back. Okay, where was I? Oh, I needed to come in here. I needed to come here. Let me get rid of this. And now here's the deal. Market's at a higher high. The market is at a higher high. Just inherently speaking, examining the natural inverse correlation that exists between the S&P 500 and the VIX, what would we expect out of the VIX right now? For me, pretty strong day and at or near a lower low. At or near, but it's not. And this is where my concern comes, right? Was we had, and it's hard because, well, actually now it is. Earlier today it wasn't. Now it's a little bit more so, but not all the way yet. So this zone was the zone that triggered, right? When it got through this zone, it triggered the final confirmation of a higher low back on the 5th. By body, the low I'm looking at is 1342. By shadow, it's 13. I'm going to actually go with this. If over the next day or two we continue down and we get below 1342, then the hedge signal is off and I'm going to take my loss. I'm going to take my loss. I'm going to bitch and moan a little bit. And I'm going to say, well, at least my bullish trades continue because I've got more bullish trades on right now than I do hedge. So like Bob said, like insurance, if I pay $1,500 for house insurance and my house appreciates 10 grand, I'm still ahead on that deal, right? And I'm protecting my asset along the way. Same thing here. If I lose 1%, it wouldn't even be 1%, but if I lost, let's say 1% on my hedge, but I had 5 or 6 trades and risked one to make 2 or 3 and they all worked, and I made 8 or 9%, that 1% is not going to bother me very much. So I've got to see the whole context of that trade in order to make a good decision about it. I hope that makes sense. But as of right now, let's just say tomorrow the market pauses and the market does this, and well, you can't see it. Let me give you a different candle color. Let's go red. So let's say tomorrow we get the doji right here, right? And then on Friday, all of a sudden things start pulling back. What's this going to look like? It turns up, and if it gets above here, that is now a low. It's come down and it's turned back up, which is a higher low, an escalating low from that one, which was a higher low from that one. What is my concern here? Escalation, this going up and this going up, because it escalates in a broadening fashion. So the next thing we think might get up here. And if it really started to go, okay, right? That's what this is going to start with. Let me show you. If you've never seen this before, I'm going to back out a little bit. And you can see that exact same escalation back here. Higher low, higher low. Technically, could have seen this one, although the next one was kind of questionable, but yeah, it's all still there. How do I have puts on when this happens? I've got to get them on early. And I've got to be able to ride through some of this where it's like, I kept a couple during this. And when that happened, I gave back most of the profits. And I'm like, oh, hell. And then boom, out of nowhere, They came back into life, and I was able to recover plus get new trades on. That was a profitable hedge window. I do like to look at my hedging window at a time and for the entire year. We'll see what happens, but this is still setting up. If, however, let me zoom in one more time. If, however, we get one more good candle, where's my color? To the downside. So tomorrow, another bullish day, and this comes down like this, and we get back below this level, then that's it. Then my thought is hopefully I get Thursday, Friday, even back down to here. Then maybe we have a small consolidation into next week, and then we get a higher low, and then we get one more bullish run for July. And then we'll see what happens. After that, I'll reevaluate. I'm never going to try to, prognosticate too far forward in the future. What am I meaning by broadening? So that's this pattern back here. It doesn't broaden. It doesn't move up like a trend. So this is moving this way, but that doesn't mean I expect this to move this way. I expect this to stay relatively flat and this to go like here, relatively flat, broadened into the volatility. That's what I mean when I say in a broadening fashion. Hopefully that, my monitor just flashed at me. That was weird. That's what I mean by broadening fashion. Hopefully that makes sense, but that's escalating fear, right? It's a little on the downside. It's much bigger on the upside, and we want to be hedged and ready to be out well in advance of that type of situation. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what the watch list has to offer. Apple. I mean, honestly, Apple looks like a buy signal to me. It's come down a little bit, but it's turned up. This is hooking. The trend is up. Apple looks like it's just ready to get going. And if Apple just starts getting going, it's certainly got the sway to carry a good amount of the NASDAQ with it. Yeah. I would say Apple. So the trading window for the current move we're in my opinion, opened on Monday. Right? We were talking about it even Friday afternoon, but Friday morning. Monday, the window was open. Tuesday, open. Today, even still, possibilities of the window being open. Not in AI, not on this one. This one looks like it's finally maybe hitting some resistance. What am I looking for? Small pullback, trade it again. AMAT, I don't know. I don't love the way AMAT looks. I took AMD off. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, that doesn't look great either. I don't love this big candle. I don't know. If you're willing to discount this shadow and say, let's just pretend, let's give it a mulligan. Let's pretend that didn't happen. Then right now you might be looking at this as viable, right? To see if this gets one more move up in the context of this trend. Better options move on. Could be. Amazon, valid. It's a bit of a grinder, but it's valid. AXP gave a signal a couple of days ago. This is financials. We said, hey, it looks like financials are starting to recover, to show us some bullishness. BLDR, 2 days ago, moving fine. This is a good one out of the industrials. It's one that I like. That's one that I traded. CPRT, 2 days ago, not moving as well. Cisco. What happened to Cisco? I almost traded this. I'm glad I didn't. It was just too many times kind of hitting the same resistance level. Yeah, I don't love the way it looks. I'm going to keep watching it though. CSX, great entry. Started to move today. It's not looking great. The Hike and Ashley says you could give it one more day, which I'm going to, but getting out if it breaks below this low here, that's around 33, I'd say maybe 33.40, something like that. Not all the way back down. Not too much room. So yeah. Yes. Let's see what happens. John Deere. John Deere. Here's the diamonds. The Dow hitting some resistance today. We'll see what happens. DraftKings. Ooh, this is one of mine that I like. I mean, we've been watching this for a while. Gave a nice signal back on Friday. We actually talked about this one on Friday. Anybody trade DraftKings by show of hands? Nobody? Flex. I took the last one, but not this one. I talked about it. I thought about it. Nothing there now. Got to wait and see what happens. Gold is moving a little bit. It's broken its consolidation. If there were something that would motivate me to trade gold, you can see this even goes back further. This would be it. It broke out. A little bit of volume. Now what? Wait for it to pause. Pull back down. My entry would exist somewhere between maybe 176.7 to 179, something like that. Nothing for now, though. IBM looked like it wanted to go, but it's fallen apart fairly quickly. Not a big fan of the lower high here. IWM still looks okay. Still looks like there's plenty of strength there. Okay. Jets overextended. MasterCard was a good one. I took MasterCard rather than AXP. Took it on this was a bit of an anticipatory trade. The stochastics hadn't turned yet, but I liked the candle. Got a couple of days out of it. So far, so good. Meta. Oh, did not. I was thinking about it back here, but it was just like such a grinder right now. Now all of a sudden it's accelerating. Anybody trading Meta? It's one of those where you look back and you're like, I should be, or I should have made money with it, but Bob took Meta, closing it today, possibly. Love it. Great trade. Microsoft, to me, I don't care that it's up 1.6. At this point, based on what I've seen with Microsoft, here's what I would need to see happen. Pretty solid level of, whoops, maybe I'd even go a little higher. Maybe through there. I need it to break through, maybe even get back to this old high, then pull back and make a higher low. Higher low, let's go. Anything else? There's nothing there for me. That is my thought process as of right now. It's quiet out there today. Everybody doing all right? Netflix. I took the last one and got a good piece. Now it's like, is it done consolidating? I'm having a hard time seeing that as being like, that's the entry I'm looking for, especially with earnings. So I might be done with this one until after earnings. I'm not seeing something there that is all that astounding. NVIDIA. So I got impatient with NVIDIA right in here. And then, of course, it moves the other way. The stochastics turned, was coming down. I might sell maybe one and keep one. It still looks pretty strong. It's at the high for the day, though. Of course, we know plenty of stocks go from the high of the day to something not quite as good the next day. But yeah, maybe pare it down, right? Trim it a little bit. Take half, keep half. No regret, only gratitude. Yeah, so I didn't hold NVIDIA. I didn't. I wish I would have now that it's up 3.5% today, but I like it again. So we can heal from this and be ready for the next trade together. I'm a forgiving soul. PHM. Man, I'll tell you what. I feel like I should have done better with this stock because it's like I took my eye off it back here. Then it gave a great signal. Then it made a good move. And then it had this consolidation, and it was such a big one. I'm like, I have this thing against large confirmation candles where I'm like, I don't like that. Yeah, I don't know. This one, I guess back to the drawing board. Let's keep watching it. Deer. Oh, that's a tough one for sure. I don't love that. I mean, it's engulfing. It's engulfing, and the stochastic has hooked. I got to say, for me, I'd probably be like, you know what? Especially if you got in on Monday or Friday. So the signal started, on my opinion, on Friday. Monday, still valid, very close. It should still have an eke of profit. Not a lot with the time decay, but I would say there still should be some profit or at least break even. And I think I'd just be done. Just done with it. So I took BLDR. I thought about that one. Anyways, yeah, good question. PLTR, it's overextended for me. I'm still waiting for an actual consolidation. It consolidated for like one day, then started to move. But from here, it really hasn't done much. This trade was great. Signal, wrote it on up, got the piece, wait, moved without me. Okay, let's wait to see if it comes back to even like 15, 25, 15 and a half. QQQ. It's at new highs on increased volume today, right? Average volume right now is 51 million. We're at 54 million. And you might be thinking, Scott, that's like 3 million shares. Yeah. 3 million shares on 50. That's 6%. It's not much. We've got 19 minutes, and these tend to be the most traded. I think we can easily get 10 million more. Then all of a sudden, it's 13 million. And 13 million is an extra 25% volume. That's pretty good. That's take control volume, if you ask me. Okay, what else? RCL, actually consolidating. The question's going to be, is it going to have one more chance to get a bullish trade? You've got earnings not far away next week, 2 weeks, 2 weeks from tomorrow. So you have time for one more trade. SMCI, that's another one that I got out thinking I'm real smart back in here. Oh, I did well. And then bing, 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 a little higher up, new highs. I love this stock. When it pulls back, I want to trade it again. It's that simple. On the pullback, I want to trade it again. All right. SPY looks bullish. Let's go look. Oh, I forgot to get the model for the quiz. 446 for a second, and then it's come back. I feel like the bees are going to get it. It may be a little early. It is. We're 15 minutes early still. Tesla could be considered viable. Whoops, 2 hours. No, let's go fully to the day. I cannot seem to get my chart to the right time frame. Here's what I would say. I don't love entries on opposite candles, meaning if I'm looking to take a bullish trade, I don't like trading into a candle that's red. Red doji, maybe I'm okay with that. It's indecision, like the SPY is given a red doji, but it's a higher doji. This is, we gapped up and we've given most of it back, and the sellers have been pushing this throughout the day. Yeah, I mean, when I see that and I couple that with the stochastics, I still think there's more consolidation ahead. I'm not in a rush here. I still think we could see more consolidation, and I'm going to give it the opportunity to do so. UPS looked great. Good signal, anticipatory here. Why this one, not this one? People ask me. Well, if you look, this one came down, closed above this close. It engulfed it. Bullish engulfing. Stochastics hadn't done anything yet. People might be like, oh, look, it started to turn. That's not what it would have showed you. It would only have showed you to where my line is, which is still coming down. What would make that a viable entry is the fact that the price action gave a signal, even though the VIX hadn't, or the stochastics hadn't yet. The next day it did. Now it turned. Well, I would have rather have been in at 179.69, 179.50 than 181.27. Okay. The VIX, nope. The VIX, oh, look at that. Well, my numbers, my goodness. Remember I said, oh, with the market at a higher high, I should see the VIX at a lower low, or at least close. And it wasn't, but now it's a lot closer. That's quite strong. I said I'd like to see it back at 1344. We're at 1358. Oh, we may find ourselves in a quack. Actually, so I'm switching Vlad tomorrow morning trading room for Friday. So I'm going to meet with you tomorrow, and then that's going to be it. We won't see each other till next Wednesday, tomorrow morning. And then Vlad will be doing the Friday morning room. I'm going to be driving with my daughter to a college orientation. She's meeting her counselor and seeing her dorm room and all kinds of exciting stuff. Very excited to be a part of it. So I will not be able to hang out with you guys, but I will tomorrow. And we may or may not know by then. This is very, very, very close to where I'm thinking, could go either way. All right. TDG Aerospace. Let's take a look. TDG. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Someone said my daughter's broker will not sell. He says just hold. I mean, if you're just holding something as a stock, so if I'm looking at Meta, this is not the perspective. It should be this perspective. And on this perspective, I don't disagree. You might be looking for 384, which is another almost 80 points. That's another 25% almost. If it got to that point, I would take some profit probably and lock it in. I'm not an investor though. But this is on a great trajectory. Do wicks count? I look at engulfing with the bodies. So no, now that's not standard. Some people do look at wicks. Wicks are always a source of ambiguity. Do I or don't I? My tendency, my preference is to use the body because that's opening and closing data. And we never know. I mean, a shadow might have been touched for literally 1 minute and then it's gone immediately. I do it both bullishly and bearishly. So I will acknowledge the shadow, but I tend to build my assumptions around the body, if that makes sense. Let me know if you have further questions. Okay, so let's back out of this. And let's go. Let's go to TDG. TDG. It's a good set. It was very nice yesterday. If you traded on that yesterday, I'll be like, yep. Today it's pulling back a little, which means either A, you still feel yesterday's valid. You might even have the Heiken Ashi to move with here. Yeah, I think you could take this, put your stop below yesterday's low, 878.58. Let's call it 878 even. You're about 13 points. Can I make 40? I mean, this thing moves, right? This from here to here is 60. So if I got 60 from here, that puts me at about 940. 940 overall is a 50-point move. Yeah, I absolutely like this one. Volume. So the volume is light. It's an expensive stock, 900, and the volume is light, which means the options are probably not going to be great. TDG. Single. Yeah, you've only got 9 days for July's. You'll notice your open interests, you've only got one place with 100 on either side. One. And if I go to August, none. This one's close, but look at these options. I mean, $2 wide spreads. It's not great. You're out of the money. Look at your out of the money spreads. You buy it for 860 and immediately it's worth 470. You just lost half. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to trade the stock, and if you trade the stock, it's very expensive. All right. Oh, baby. What's next? Wayfair. This Wayfair stock just runs. Run. Look at us run. Let's take a look at Wells Fargo. Looks pretty good, but I've got earnings, so I'm not going to do much. Just watch, see what happens. Energy, still strong. Financial, still strong. Industrial, still strong. Staples, not much. Wait, XLP looks like it's trying to actually make a run. It's very sideways overall. Utilities, very sideways overall. What's not sideways? Technology. XLK, a little bit sideways in the last little bit, but overall still looking to make moves. Communication services, XLC, that's been one of our favorites. Bam, still going. Industrials, that's newly added as a favorite. Bam. Consumer discretionary. Been watching this for a while. That's where the money's going, right? That's where the money's going. That's where we should be. That's where we should be thinking about going. Yeah, there it is. So what are we doing here? Well, I hope what you're doing here is managing profitable trades. When are you going to take profit? take some tomorrow, take some today, wait till Friday. I guarantee you this, I'm definitely going to be taking some on Friday if I haven't already. If I'm 5 days in, I'm not going to ride that through the weekend, most likely. I'm still in a hedge. I'm still looking for the possibility of a hedge, but it's right on the bubble. That could disappear soon. So I'm managing. Am I looking for new trades? Not really. I didn't see anything that compelling that I'm not already in. So, yeah. Some of you may not be an Apple. Apple's a nice one. I always like trading Apple. So there's that. All right. Well, let's go give a gold medal out. Well, we just kept having people trickle in. I'm glad to see everybody. Got a little piece at least of today. What are some discretionary stocks? Remember, you can always, just to get a sense, come into your heat map, and your cyclical are your discretionary. Amazon and Tesla both are there. Nike, home builders, restaurants, home improvement stores, auto parts, hotels and airlines. Well, you got all that's here in, I don't know, maybe the airlines actually, no, they do put the airlines should be cyclical, but they put it in industrials. Yeah. Okay. Well, let me get back into the SPY. Ooh. Oof, it's still a B. Yeah, still a B. I'm going to give it to the Bs today. That's not just because I said B. I'm just saying we're a little early, 4 minutes early, but I'm going to give the medal to the Bs. Yeah, this is slowed down a little bit, which is interesting because despite the fact that it's slowed down, the VIX is still very much at its lows. I mean, the lows for the day, we're down at 1355. We're very, very close. Any additional move tomorrow is going to nullify that higher low, and then we'll see what happens from there. Okay, so I'll see you tomorrow in the morning, 9:15 a.m. Eastern time. We'll talk about it. We'll make a plan. We'll make sure we address a plan that covers both today and tomorrow, and we'll see how it goes. It's good to see everybody. I hope you can. Sounds like most people are trading pretty well, doing pretty well. Keep it up. Stay vigilant. Have that plan. Stick to the plan, and it will lead you good places. You guys have a great rest of your day. See you in the morning. And as always, happy trading.